This is Goku-san, DBZ, and welcome back for a new game review. This review I will be doing to show and review different Sega controllers. More than one, though, for the review. I'll be talking about a couple of different Sega model game controllers, and my opinion overall on the design now. First, as we see here, this is the Model 1 design Sega Genesis controller, which of course is known for only having 3 buttons, being A, B, C. Your basic normal start button, of course. And of course the D-pad. Now for the most part, the D-pad's actually not that bad in this design. I actually like this particular D-pad. It has pretty good overall responsive. But I don't like the 3-button layout. But overall, the controller look and design isn't bad in any way, shape, or form. And it mentions, of course, the model number, but it says made in China. But yeah, this is your classic Model 1 style game controller. Big and stuff. Now, this type of controller plays good with platformers and like jet type games, high scores, things like that, but it's not the best design controller for, say, fighting games. Very much so. But overall, the controller's pretty well built. Next up, I currently don't have a normal, authentic Sega Genesis Model 2 controller, main brand. I only have this off-brand. I'm currently in the efforts of actually getting actual 6-button Sega brand controller, so that's in the works right now. Start button, like the entire buttons for the most part, react pretty good, and the 6 buttons, of course, actually work good. I will say this particular model off-brand controller, which you can tell is given, it doesn't even have a Sega name, doesn't have any print or anything on the back. But I will say my biggest problem with it is the D-pad. It's not the best designed D-pad. It is definitely inferior to the normal Sega Genesis controller D-pad. The design is a little bit different, as you can see. It's definitely can tell it's cheaper. You can even tell from the feeling of the controller, it's definitely a cheaper plastic because it's a little bit lighter and doesn't look as well made either quality-wise, which is why I'm trying to get an actual one because of the quality difference. And you can also tell size difference. Now the thing is, this is the basic size of the Model 2. As you can see, though, there is a little size difference ratio between these two particular ones, and you can see from the light also the texture and stuff of the plastic is a little different as well. But those are Sega Genesis controllers. Next up, looking at the Model 2 Sega Saturn controller, which already has, of course, the 6-button design, the cool Sega Saturn cover right there. The plastic is actually not bad, and the texture is a little different, I will say, overall. And I will say also, the D-pad's not that bad on this particular controller. And this one has an L and R buttons on the back as well, unlike the Genesis model. I will say personally, this is maybe my favorite Sega brand controller. Period. I mean, it's a really good controller in general. And given they recently came out with a USB style Sega Genesis controller compatible with the PS3, I can say I will be getting it because it's perfect for fighting games. That's the thing. This controller is designed for fighting games in mind. But in general, it's just a really good, well-built controller. The plug-in, of course, with the classic Sega logo. And there, of course, you have your print on the back with the model number. This one says made in Malaysia. Next up is the very special Sega Saturn 3D controller. Now this is a very unique, and perhaps the most unique Sega controller ever designed. Of course we see on the back the same model, and of course we have our L1, R1 buttons on the back, which aren't that bad. And of course we have an actual joystick on this one. And the joystick actually is pretty responsive and pretty good. D-pad's okay, it's not the greatest D-pad compared to the normal Saturn controller. The buttons work pretty well for the most part. But yeah, the actual joystick on this one is really good. And of course we see a special button, and then a round start button rather than the normal small narrow one. Now of course this controller was designed for actually to go with as a combo with the game called Dreams into Nights. Nights into Dreams, my bad, I got the name reversed. But this controller, the 3D controller, was designed for that in mind. But to be honest, the controller actually isn't that bad for fighting games either. But this was particularly designed because you need a joystick in order to play Nights into Dreams correctly, because of the way your character would move around in the game. It requires a special joystick in order to use it, and this of course would be the basis for the Sega Dreamcast controller, which I have right here, the normal standard Dreamcast controller. And if we look side by side, we can see a lot of similarities, like a little bit of the layout with this, and the overall design, even the position of your D-pad and your joystick. Very similar for the most part. Now this D-pad is a little different than most of your Sega model controllers. It's a very different type of D-pad. The joystick for the most part isn't that bad in all honesty, especially with these little grip things on it. I do like the normal 4 buttons here better. Of course your start button. And yeah, you would have to, in order so the cord wouldn't get in place, you actually had, otherwise you had the cord just down here in the way, you would have to clip the wire onto the back of the controller, so it would end up more like a normal standard controller. Of course we have 2 slots in here, which is where you would put your VMU. You could put 2 VMUs, most people would do a VMU, and then the second one would do a rumble pack. That way it could do rumble, obviously. Though there were some off-brand controllers that ended up having the rumble pack built in. But yeah, you can tell the 3D model controller design definitely had a lot of influence to do with the Dreamcast design. And of course the awesome Dreamcast symbol. And also look at the backs of both controllers. Very similar back as well, because the way overall the sides are, and of course the back buttons, very similar. I think these backs may be a little bit better overall, but that's just me. And of course the last is the exact same as the one I just showed you, but it's of course the black model, the Dreamcast Sports Edition controller, which is awesome. I just love the look and design. Though it's the same design, I just love the sports logo on the front, and I just love the black controller for the most part. But overall it's the exact same, of course, just looks cooler. And it goes better with your Saturn and your Sega Genesis. But this has been a little special review about Sega controllers, so you'll have to tell me, what's your favorite Sega model controller, your favorite Sega console? And I'll see y'all again here soon enough when I'm reviewing Dead or Alive 2 for the Sega Dreamcast. So look forward to that soon enough. I'll see you again here in YouTube land. Same YouTube time, same YouTube channel. And mirror follow me at twitter.com/GokuSenDBZ, as well as on Twitter, Google Plus, and of course also now on Tumblr youtube.com/GokuSunDBZ.